I'm Tom Howe, Senior Journalist at Chaos Radio, and we are here at the Shipwreck Treasure Museum in Charlestown to see the last ever Tunnel of Lights display.
My name is Lynne Robenheimer. I am the events manager, program manager for the Shipwreck Treasure Museum, and for the past 5 years I've been lucky enough to be part of the team that creates, develops, installs and runs this event at the museum.
Can you tell us a little bit then, for people that aren't aware, about what awaits behind those doors and in those tunnels?
Ooh, well, I don't want to give away too much because I always like to create a little bit of a surprise, but this year we have decided to celebrate all things baubles. So luckily we have our local mining industry, Shimmeries, and they have come to create an exhibition about these baubles that they discovered under the sea. Which might sound strange, but we all know the baubles come from space and grow on trees, and so why wouldn't they come from the sea?
Exactly.
Right, so this is our storytelling of that, and it's also an introduction to all of the very special mice that look after baubles and decorate baubles as well. And then plus, you know, we also have Santa's workshop and all of his special things here too.
We've been so lucky to have a little sneak preview and have been with either ourselves or families or friends previously in years gone by as well. How each year do you come up with something a little bit different just to make it just that little bit more improved and enhanced and get, you know, families come back year on year on year?
I think, you know, because we have quite a limited amount of space, we have to be really super creative. And actually having limitations is quite good for creativity. It forces you to really think outside of the box. And yeah, I think with those limitations and with a bit of imagination and with a bit of time to discuss and chat about things, yeah, we come up with something very special. But we also try to reuse everything that we have already as well. We don't like just getting new, we like to create and build on top of the stuff that we already have. So I think we have stories that have developed through the years, and that just fit quite nicely into the space.
For anybody listening or watching, can you talk to us about or can you explain some of the unique elements to the venue here as well?
Well, for those who don't know, we have tunnels beneath the museum. So these are clay tunnels where they used to drag the clay to the ships in Charlestown Harbour, and we have recreated them into ice tunnels. So what you're doing effectively is you're just walking through really magical, really interesting, different spaces than you've ever sort of imagined before. And we also incorporate that into the museum itself, which is quite tunnel-like too, hence the Tunnel of Lights. Also very good for hanging lots and lots and lots of lights on.
I can see just from this evening that you're very busy and you've got some people here, well, some busy elves, I suppose, helping you out with everything that's here. What kind of work goes into creating this? How far ago did you start? Was it literally you turned off the lights last Christmas and you're planning for this Christmas?
Oh gosh, well this year's been a bit different. Normally we spend about 3 to 4 months planning something like this, and you know, 2 of those months are dedicated to building. So we usually have a crack team who come in and we're creating really beautiful things in a space and then eventually bring it into the museum when we close for winter. This year we've had to contend with auctions happening as well. And a much more limited timeline. So actually we've done this in just under 4 weeks. And it's been, yeah, exhausting, but I think actually we've done some of our best stuff, really. So yeah, that's normally what it takes, but this year's been quite different.
What's it all going towards? Where does the money go now? What's the plans for the future? Because obviously we've got to touch on it. This, unfortunately, as far as we know, is the last Tunnel of Lights here. Mm-hmm. What can you say about that?
Well, in terms of the future, you know, we're unfortunately part of an industry that is really suffering in Cornwall, and we are, you know, we have been doing our best to ensure that we could see through this year and provide this event for our visitors. I actually don't know very much as to what's going to happen. I do know that the building is still up for sale. I don't know if there have been any buyers. I'm just here to put on pretty lights. But you know, everything that we are doing here is to hopefully ensure that our team can, for the next few months while we de-rig, also be supported. So yeah, hopefully that's what it does.
Amazing. So you are open until New Year's Eve, is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, and where can people find out more information? How can they buy those last few remaining tickets?
So if you go to www.shipwreckcharlestown.com, that's where our platform is to be able to buy tickets. We have off-peak and peak tickets still available. So there's a whole variety of different price ranges, and yeah, better book soon because it is getting busy.
Can I just ask quickly the keyword questions? Can I ask you first about accessibility in and around the tunnels as well? What have you done to make sure that it's accessible for a wide range of different people?
Well, about 85% of our experience is fully accessible. Unfortunately, with the tunnels below the museum, due to historical building reasons, it's not mostly accessible to a lot of people in wheelchairs or scooters. But like I said, what we've done this year is really focus on creating as much as possible above ground that is fully accessible and viewable to everybody.
We really hope this isn't the end of the whole picture. It may be the end here, it may not be, depending on what the future holds and what handshakes are made and that kind of thing. But are there any kind of, I don't know how long you've been involved either personally, but what words of memories, of thanks, of great times gone by, what would you like to share? What would you like to say?
So I think firstly I'd like to thank every single person who's been involved with the development of this event, the teams that we've had, the local artists and makers around Cornwall, the talent pool in Cornwall is just extraordinary, and I think that, you know, this is an iota of an offering of what Cornwall could be and is. And then obviously the visitors who've been coming back to us every single year. I had an amazing conversation with a woman who brought her 6-year-old, and his first ever Christmas event was the Tunnel of Lights 6 years ago, and you know, she had her 4-year-old there too, and you know, for her this was an annual tradition, and it's just incredible that that's what we have become for people. And yeah, so many thanks to people who continue and will continue over the next month to join us and celebrate what we do.
We don't want to see this go. We especially. Owen's only just been here for the first time. He's just got a new love of it. Are there, I mean, you can say no or it's off the record or whatever, but are there discussions to maybe move it elsewhere? It's difficult to find something so unique as this. Or are there other events, or is there anything that might spring from this? We don't want it to just be a full stop, do we?
I don't want it to be a full stop. I don't know. Look, it is what it is at this point. You know, we just want to get through the season and make it as magical as possible. And if anything does come up along the line, then that is incredible. The last thing we want to do is to see all of these incredible builds and makes just disappear. Yeah, like you said, the venue is the tricky thing. It is a really unique venue. There's not many places in Cornwall that do indoor Christmas things. So it would be a tricky, you know, quite a difficult, you know, platform to build up on. But who knows? Who knows? Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Come and enjoy it while you still have the chance in this incredible location. We really appreciate your time this evening. Just before we go, is there anything that you wanted to add that you think is important for people to hear or that we might not have covered?
No, only that we really hope that the rest of Cornwall, if you haven't been to us before, might want to just give us one little chance, especially seeing as we're closing our doors on the 31st, and we can pretty much guarantee you'll love it. So, thank you.
The Tunnel of Lights runs daily until New Year's Eve, bar Christmas Day and Boxing Day, with more information and bookings available online at shipwreckcharlestown.co.uk.